first was an observation that we went to the South Coast Plaza, and Yumiko needed to pick something up at the one of the stores. I elected to wait outside. There was a bench across. There was like an island area in the middle of the shopping mall. You know, like a little. Well, actually, it was escalators coming down, and then there was a bank. And then there was one chair, one bench. I stood at the outside of the store, next to the door, looking out, and immediately across from me was the bench, and there was an old man, probably in his 70s, sitting there, staring straight at where I was, but a little to the right at the wall. And the first thought was, you don't see too many people his age in places like this. You know, I guess I could call, he looked late 70s. I guess I can call late 70s very old. They tend not to come to these places. And what struck me was how he was not paying attention to anything going on around. I was in a very good frame of mind at that point. I was feeling, all afternoon I was feeling very good. And I was observing all the people coming down the escalator and milling all around, the families, the couples, the young teenagers, you know, in their gaggly groups, milling about, shopping bags. And I was just thinking about all the industry and the activity and the distraction of it all. And I did distinctly think, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm done with all this distraction, you know. And then I looked at the old man staring at the wall, unfazed by any of that. And I didn't know what he was, of course I don't have any idea what he was thinking about. I tried to pierce into his head and figure out what he might be thinking about. And I wondered if he was tired, maybe he's got, or maybe if he's in pain, maybe, you know, old age can do that to you. Or maybe he just, like me, he was, but, you know, 20 years further ahead in, you know, just not wanting to be a part of this anymore. Not wanting to live, but not wanting to be in a shopping mall. Not wanting to be, you know, getting a Starbucks and look window shopping and you know, people watching and all that stuff. Just doesn't want it. And while I sat there, his family showed up, and it was a big family. There was his wife, his age. There were at least 3 adults that could have been their children. 2 of them were probably parents. Maybe 2 of them were, I don't know. 3 adults, and then a gaggle of kids, maybe 4 children. So a big group, and they all milled around the bench. They were looking at phones together, looking through bags at their shopping, and they were there for a long time, because Yumiko was shopping for a long time. And I noticed that the man didn't engage with them. He just continued staring at the wall. And I was like, yeah, that's how I'll probably be when I'm that age. I don't know, maybe I can overcome it. Maybe I can cut that back, but I don't know. I just feel it already. And what's interesting is I don't feel it's a bad thing. I feel like it's just the normal. I just had 2 thoughts that came together. I was also then, after, in the evening, while Yumiko was cooking dinner, I was watching Midnight Diner, and it was that one episode where the old man, Marilyn's old teacher, sneaks away from the old senior home and comes to Kabukicho and finds Marilyn, and they have a nice little reunion. But he's a very old man, like in his late 80s, mid 80s. And they finally, there's a scene at the end where they take him back to the old age home. And Marilyn's visiting, and all the old people there. And I was wondering while I was watching that, because I used to work in a senior home, how the seniors just kind of don't seem to rebel against maybe they do. I don't know, maybe they never seemed to do it when I worked there, and I got to know them well. They just seemed to accept where they were, you know, which is, as one of them once told me not so long ago, it was pretty recently, they said, heaven's waiting room. Maybe it's again an extension of what I was seeing in that old man's face. Just, fed up, and what I'm beginning to feel myself, just fed up, tired. Don't want don't want to be a part of this anymore. You know, I did my share. I've raised my child. I've paid my taxes. I've contributed to society for my whole working life. Even even got my thoughts out in a book or two or four. And I'm ready to just be quiet and let all of you do your thing. Even if you want to put me into an old age home, I'll just sit there. Just remember to bring the applesauce around 7. Maybe that was what was in his mind. At one point, that old man, his wife, well, I think it was his wife, came over to him and showed him something on her phone. And he kind of lifted like a kind of a man, kind of snapped out. He put on a smile, which didn't seem false to me. It seemed genuine. Maybe it was more of a smile to be glad to see her than anything else. And he looked at the phone and nodded his assent over something. And then she went back to talking to her, what it seemed to be her daughter, her grown daughter, and he went back to looking at the wall. Not such a bad thing. Maybe it's the way things are supposed to be. Then it's the way our biology is made up. Maybe it's the role of old people to remember and then to fade. And to have, at some point or another, maybe just have enough.